Hi everybody, it's Honest John again. Full disclosure, I'm an atheist. But some Christians are fond of saying that the American legal code has its roots in the Bible and especially in the Ten Commandments. Actually, the U.S. law is, and most Western countries, base their legal code on Rome. Ancient Rome. That's right, our legal system is based not on any Christian society, but on a pagan society that worshipped a whole bunch of gods. As for the Ten Commandments, well, just for shits and giggles, let's take a look at them and compare them to the American legal system. Commandment number 1. I am the Lord thy God, thou shalt not have other gods before me. Kind of the exact antithesis of U.S. law, which says that the government shall make no law regarding the establishment of religion. So, basically, stay the fuck out of all that God shit. Number 2. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Fortunately, we have no law against cussing. The prisons would be even more overcrowded than they are now. I might add that there are some versions of the Ten Commandments forbidding graven images. Well, if that were enshrined in U.S. law, have you taken a look at the churches around the country? Filled with pictures of God and Jesus and the saints and all kinds of things. So if that were part of U.S. law, we'd have to tear down just about every single church. Actually, not a bad idea. Number 3, keep holy the Lord's Day, or the Sabbath. Now, there's some disagreement about when the Sabbath is. And, used to be that we had some states that had blue laws forbidding people to work on the Sabbath, but, you know, most of those laws are a thing of the past because, hey, people want to get a six-pack for the football game. Number 4, honor thy father and mother. Well, the law is pretty much silent on this one, right? Which is a good thing, because if you look at biblical law, it was kind of like you should stone your children to death at the drop of a hat. So if this were part of U.S. law, most of us never would have made it out of the terrible twos. Number 5, thou shalt not kill. Well, finally we have a commandment that is also agrees with U.S. law. And it took us only half the commandments to get there. And it isn't like this was an original thought, right? You know, the whole thou shalt not murder thing was in legal codes long before the Ten Commandments came along. This is common sense, not divine wisdom. We didn't really need a prophet or a God to tell us that. Number 6, thou shalt not commit adultery. Well, we leave this one to our civil courts and not the criminal ones. It seems kind of odd that an all-knowing God would put this in the commandments and not mention rape. Maybe that's why Christian conservatives kind of have a favorable view about rape. I think a simple thou shalt not rape would have been a really good commandment. Would have cleared all that stuff up. And the Bible actually rewards rape, saying that the rapist should marry his victim, which would mean that he would then be able to rape his victim for the rest of her life. So it's kind of a good thing that that we didn't put this in our legal code. Number 7, thou shalt not steal. Once again, not an original idea. The idea that people should leave each other's shit alone had already been a consensus long before Moses came along. Number 8, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Once again, we leave this for the civil courts rather than the criminal ones. Number 9 and 10 are the ones about coveting, both your neighbor's wife and your neighbor's goods. Basically, these are commandments that forbid player hating. Well, if that was illegal, we couldn't build enough prisons. So, after a review, only 2 out of the 10 commandments are actually found in the U.S. legal code. And they were already in place long before the 10 Commandments came along. So the truth is that the 10 Commandments in biblical law had exactly 0 effect on the U.S. legal system. Sorry guys. Thanks for listening.